morning, Professor Bailey, distinguished speakers and guests. A very warm welcome to our first Asian Energy Conference, Smart Grid, Sustainability Transition and Innovation in Governance. I'm Daphne Ma, the Director of the Asian Energy Study Center. It's my great honor to welcome you once again most warmly to this conference. This conference is co-organized by the Asian Energy Study Center and the Department of Geography at Baptist University. And we would like to thank our two supporting organizations, the Center of Deliberative Democracy at Stanford University, and also the Kadiri Institute at the University of Hong Kong. We would also like to thank the funding support from the Research Committee at Baptist University and also from the Faculty of Social Sciences and Department of Geography. Without further ado, please join me to welcome Professor Adrian Bailey, the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences at Baptist University, to give us a welcome remark. Thank you.
Very good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to join Dr. Ma in welcoming you all to this very interesting and important event today. The title, you have that in front of you, Smart Grid, Sustainability Transition, Innovation in Governance. To my mind, this suggests the conference will be about a number of things. It'll be about energy. It'll be about living and thriving in a low-carbon society. It'll be about Asia. I suspect, though, it might be about some other things as well. And if we look at the aim of the conference for a few seconds, we, I think, get a sense of the scope here. So the aim is to provide a forum to share comparative experiences of emerging policies and governance practices with a special focus on smart grids across Asia. And to meet this objective, the organizers, Dr. Ma and her colleagues, have invited, and we, as the faculty of the university, are really delighted to be able to welcome to our campus a number of leading experts from across the region and internationally. And if you'll allow me, I just wanted to give a particular mention to two of those colleagues who are joining us this morning, because they represent not only the global reach and impact of this event, but also I think they show us something very important about different disciplinary contributions to this topic. Professor Riki Abe, who's sitting in the front here, hails from the University of Tokyo. His background is electrical engineering. Next to him is Dr. Alice Siu from Stanford University, and her background is one of communication and public engagement and deliberation. So it seems to me that scholarship on smart grids, even sustainable energy, I suppose, is relatively youthful, relatively young. It strikes me that already this is a diverse and, very importantly, an open field where multiple perspectives are necessary and, in fact, as today, welcome. So, as the Dean of a social science faculty, one which actually is very interested in global social science, it's a real privilege to be able to stand here this morning and kick this event off. And I did just want to make three brief points by means really of standing with the organizers of this conference to affirm the value of what you're doing and how you're going about that. And my first point is, of course, it won't be of surprise to anybody in this room, that the topic itself is extraordinarily important and very timely. If we think about many of the big, some people call them wicked issues that face Asian society, and we can think about aging, we can think about urbanization, we can think about the transition to a consumption economy. Guess what? Energy, you're not going to do anything without sustainable energy. And it's the case that smart grids, not the only, but they're certainly one of the very important discussions about doing that, about providing such energy for those bigger issues. So timeliness without question. But I think a second point why this is such an important event is because smart grids themselves are not just about technology, or at least they don't just raise technological or marketing issues, but I would think ethical and political issues as well. And it seems to me that there's something perhaps of a paradox within smart grids themselves. On the one hand, they are, of course, decentralized and offer distributed solutions, more flexibility. They put the individual, perhaps, in greater control over a set of decisions. But, you know, they're smart. And that smartness comes from a sense of coordination, integration, almost centralization. So perhaps there's a little bit of a tension there, which manifests itself in terms of privacy, in terms of security, and some of those issues. These are engineering issues, but they're also ethical issues and perhaps moral issues as well in terms of how society works through networks and conversations within those social networks. So I think I would certainly applaud the centre here, Asian Energy Studies Centre, for being the catalyst to bring together multiple stakeholders, because it seems to me we need those conversations across the traditional disciplinary lines. And if I can just quote one commentator, the Yale social scientist, Nicholas Christakis, was quoted about a year ago as saying, my apologies to my colleagues for using this quote for the second time, but it is important. He said, the social sciences have stagnated. They offer essentially the same set of academic departments and disciplines that they have for nearly 100 years: sociology, economics, anthropology, psychology, political science, geography. This is not only boring but counterproductive, constraining engagement. So I very much applaud the commentators, the organizers here, for giving us an opportunity to get beyond that those disciplinary dark ages, if I may. And my third and last point on that is it's not what you're doing, but it's how you're doing it that is so instructive, I think. I noticed on the session there are a number of open conversations, open sessions here this morning, this afternoon, where the expert speakers, the audience will have an opportunity to listen to one another, to learn from one another, and to engage in conversation. And I think that's, in a sense, a down payment on the future. The involvement in students in activities like this is very important, given the rapid investments in smart grids, the fact that many students are going to be employed in smart grid activities. By involving students at this stage of the conversation, we are, of course, upping the game there for that development. So, very important day, very important conference. I will close then by acknowledging the extremely hard work over a number of months of the two organisers, the Department of Geography and particularly the Asian Energy Studies Centre, Dr. Ma and her team. I would also like to express our gratitude to our two supporters, the Kadoorie Institute from the University of Hong Kong and, of course, the Centre for Deliberative Democracy at Stanford University. There's a brilliant program today, so it's time for me to shut up and to enable that program to continue. But again, a very warm welcome from the faculty, and I hope you have a most productive day. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Bailey, for the excellent opening remark. It marked a very nice beginning of our conference.